So thank you so much, guys, for jumping on our Dash to Diamond call. I am super excited to be talking tonight about attracting your tribe. I absolutely love the videos from today. And Alyssa's story is so awesome, and it's so cool to see somebody, you can't help but just like put yourself in that position and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's going through that. And I just love so much that instead of being like, why me? And, and yeah, that's fine. That's like your first reaction, obviously, but that's not her mindset. And I didn't even know Alyssa. I knew her through meeting Michelle and some of the other Team Boom people through Smart Success we went to last year. And I didn't even know her, but started seeing her posts and things, and Michelle would comment or like on it. And so I would see it, and I was so inspired by it as well. And I didn't even know her. So I just think it's so cool to say that, she could have easily been really embarrassed. She could have been insecure. She could have thought, I don't need to share that. Like, why would I do that? It's uncomfortable for me to talk about. But she did it. And on her likes or on her post, I mean, she would get over 200 likes and things on these posts. And I remember, like, I loved seeing every week her Tuesday post that she talked about. For me, I was praying for her, and I didn't know her. I was rooting for her. And I mean, it's just so cool when you see somebody that's putting their self out there and being vulnerable, and you're like, wow, this person is amazing. And so I can't tell you enough. If you didn't watch her video today, then go check it out. And you may be sitting there thinking, well, crap, I don't have a story. I can't talk about this or that. Everybody has a story. And so when I went to Chalene Johnson, Smart Success, I've gone 2 years now. This will be the third year that I go. I love her. Her Smart Success is amazing. If you want to be there, make it happen, because she is so awesome. So she said, and this was April of 2013, and I was still working full time. I was there with Kelly and Brooke, and I remember being there, and she was talking about telling your story. And she said, your darkest moment is what is going to shoot you into the stratosphere. And I remember sitting there in the audience thinking, there's no way I am telling that part of my story. And I had, it was April of 2014. Sorry. I signed on as a coach in April 2013. So I had been a coach for a year. And at that time, Chalene was telling me, whatever your darkest moment is, that's what you need to share. And for me at that time, my mind went to that place, that darkest moment in my life. And for me, I battled eating disorders and bulimia in the past. And that was my darkest moment. I literally remember being in my room, and after eating a crap ton of stuff that was terrible, and sticking my finger down my throat and making me throw up in a trash can in my room. And if that isn't some type of disgusting, terrible mental vision, I don't know what is. And that was for me. And I remember even one time I broke a blood vessel because of making myself throw up. And this may be TMI, but there's no such thing as TMI for me. And I feel like me telling you this is just going to be like, okay, if she can talk about tossing her cookies in a trash can, I can talk about this. So that's just my main goal for you. And so I remember I went on a trip that next week I went and I had this huge, terrible broken blood vessel. And I can't tell you how many people were like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with your eye? And da, 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 da. And I was just like, oh, I sneezed a lot. I was sick and I broke a blood vessel or something like so lame. I don't even remember. And I had one girl, we were out and she was super drunk, and she goes, are you bulimic? And I was like, no. So first of all, that would never be my guess. So I'm guessing that she probably was too and was drunk. I have no idea why that would like come to somebody's mind that didn't know me at all. But that was like, that whole week was kind of like, that was my darkest moment. That's when I felt the crappiest. And I finally was out with my friends and I said, look, I know you guys, I had told you about this in the past and you thought that I was over it, and I'm not. And I had to talk to them and I had to tell them. And so this was kind of my darkest moment. So I'm sitting there at Shalane Johnson and she's like, you got to share that because that is going to be what shoots you into the stratosphere. And so I was sitting there in the audience and I was making a before and after photo. And I think I remember doing 3 side by sides, and one was, and I ended up doing, or it was me with that bloody eye picture and then a picture of me now or something. And it was me telling my story of having an eating disorder. And I was so scared and I was so nervous to post it. And I hadn't even told my own mom. Nobody in my family knew. I literally told the world and my family at the same time through Facebook. And there's so many people that think I couldn't tell my story. I can't do that. But you have no idea how many people you're going to connect with because of that. And because I said, look, I went through this and I'm working on loving myself and being the best version of me possible. You have no idea how many people sent me messages, commented, said, oh my gosh, you're so inspiring. Thank you for sharing this. I'm struggling with this too, or sent me messages. And I had a couple girls on my team do the same. I have one girl that posted about infertility issues that she's been battling for 4 years. And like even part of her own family doesn't know this. And she put it out there and she was like, April, you have no idea how many people have sent me messages and how good it feels that I'm not alone. So not only are you inspiring other people, but you're finding yourself a niche of people that you have a support group with. So I want you to honestly think of what your deepest, darkest moment is. And I want you to start forming a post that's going to talk about that. And that probably scares the bejesus out of you. And that's a good thing because it's not supposed to be like, oh, one time I thought I was kind of overweight and I had a muffin top. You want to get your personal story and you want to put it out there so that people can connect with you. And it's not just like, oh, I put it out there, it's done. I want you to post about it once a week and a different aspect. And so I'm not just like every week, I had an eating disorder, I had an eating disorder, I had an eating disorder. There were other things that led to me being in that, position. So I had 7.5 years worth of emotionally abusive relationships. So I talk about emotional abuse. I talk about you not being defined by other people. There are so many different parts of things that you've struggled with that you can say, I've been there. And this is, you just take the dirty part of your story and the stuff that you've dealt with, and you make it into an inspiring message and show people how they can come out on top. So that's the biggest thing. And there's so many different ways that you can twist it. So use different perspectives. And sometimes because I've shared my story so much, sometimes what I do is I'll go through old Facebook photos and those will jog memories. I remember I was looking for a story and I found one picture of me and 6 of my girlfriends at a diner. And I remember that was one time when one of my friends caught me actually having an eating disorder. Or I had another picture where it made me think of I was at prom and something I was dealing with at that time. So go through old photos and kind of your mind connects photos with memories. And so sometimes that helps too. What was I feeling or what was I thinking or what was going on in my life at that time? And so you just kind of want to be posting about that regularly so that that's your tribe. That's your people that you want to work with. You want to coach them. You want to help them. Why go through all that shit and then not be able to help somebody from it? You don't just go through that to hide it because you're embarrassed. You go through that to learn from it and then be able to say, hey, I've been there. And this is where, what I've gone through, and this is where you can be, and let me help you. And so you really have to just focus on being able to, I'm seeing children, sorry for swearing. You really have to be able to just, be yourself. And then I want to talk about attracting your tribe. So that's about sharing your story, and attracting your tribe is putting stuff out there. Oh, let me mute everybody. And so putting stuff out there that you're passionate about. So I posted in the chat, and I want you guys to, and I'll repost it for anybody that's got on, but I want you guys to start thinking about your target market. I want to think about things that you're passionate about, hobbies, things that you enjoy. And it can be so dumb. I don't know how, but I am known for being the Chipotle addict. I am known for being obsessed with guacamole. I don't even know where this spun off of. And it's hysterical to me that like once a day I get checked in Chipotle check-ins, or once a day I get checked in a German Shepherd post. And so I want you to think about things that you like. And I don't care if it's like a peanut butter or sushi or whatever, but make a list of things and you're going to post about that like 3 times a week, those different things. So some things for me are German Shepherds, rescuing animals, Chipotle, guacamole. What else do I talk about? I don't know. But what I do is I'll just Google image, like Chipotle meme, M-E-M-E. That's like something funny. Or guacamole meme. Or I'll just look on Instagram on different accounts that have funny, things. And humor is really big to me. So if you can make me laugh, like, you're my BFF. I also am super weird and I'm cool with that. And I attract weird, silly people. And I love that. So I'm not going to try to sit here and try to be normal for anybody. I want to attract the weirdos and people that have my same silly, stupid sense of humor. So I screenshot things all the time throughout the week, so that I have a plethora of things that I can just use at any time. So, 3 times a week, I'm probably posting something silly. Like today, I posted a picture about like me during math. And it was like, but what does that mean? Like I was terrible at math and I just told a funny story about it. Like, and it made me laugh. So if it makes me laugh, like I'm going to post it. There was one, it was like a pizza cutter and it was like how I cut carbs, like things like that are so stupid, but that is my sense of humor. And I want to attract people that have that similar sense of humor. So write down your passions, write down your hobbies. I have noticed that a lot of times moms are like, I don't know. Like I take care of my kids and I watch cartoons with them. I don't really have anything. I want you to try to think of things that maybe you were passionate about before being a mom and maybe you don't do them as much anymore, but I want you to also try to make some time for your passions and hobbies. I really see that a lot with moms, and I think that it's important to get back to who you are, because being a mom is amazing and it's probably the best job you'll ever have besides Beachbody, but you need to get back to you. You need to be talking about you and figuring out more about you as well. And so even if it's like, I used to love, hiking or whatever, sometimes it's almost hard to think about it because some things can be so simple. Like I wouldn't just normally before this been like writing out things. I'm like, well, I'm really passionate about Chipotle and guacamole. Like those wouldn't be things that I wrote out, but it just happened that way. So kind of just think outside of the box and try to think of as many things as you can and just write things down. Like when you think of something that you're like, oh, I love that. Like that should be something you write down. And talk about it a lot. And then when you're talking and making posts, I want you to talk like you are talking to that ideal person. Like when you're writing out your target market, for me, it would be women that are like 22 to 35 that love being outside, that love animals, that, maybe have rescued some animals, people that don't take themselves too seriously, women that have struggled with self-confidence issues and eating disorders, emotional abuse, things like that. And I could go on and on. I'm a big runner. Go through things that you're passionate about and write those down. And when you're making your post, you want to make your post that you are talking right to that person. One awesome coach that I think does a great job, and I'm going to forget his name, so let me try to Google it, he's a guy, Trey, is it Bearer? He's so funny. He, Bearer, Bearor. And he is like so himself. I love his posts. I love that he is talking right to his target market. You can look him up on Facebook. I consider him the Caleb Thomas with more obscenities. I love Caleb Thomas so much. He's so cute. And then Trey is just like himself, and he's like, mother effer this, da 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 da. But his posts are funny, and he's drawing people to him. And not that I'm saying like go start swearing in your posts or anything, but be yourself and don't give a crap who doesn't like it, because you're focusing on the people that do. And I found myself, I attracted a couple people that were challengers that, you know, I talk about my faith a lot, and I really am growing in my faith this year. And I saw this shirt that like totally describes me. It says, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. And that's totally me. Like that's me. And for a while I was trying to like censor myself, because I'm like, oh, these 2 people are in my group and I don't want to offend them. And I'm like, I'm not going to worry about saying the S word in a post or something like that for those 2 people. Like, I think they're going to know that I'm not, you know, doing this just to make them mad. So you don't want to change yourself for a minority of people that may not, you know, even if they know you, they're going to let it slide, you know, and if they aren't going to let it slide, goodbye. You don't need those people in your life. Like, you want to focus on the people that are your people. And so I noticed that I was doing that this week, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to post this. And then somebody posted something that had like the F word in it or something like that. It was really funny about exercising. And so many people in my group were loving it. I was like, not that I'm sitting there, I need to be swearing, but I'm like, I also need to just be myself and know that people know not to take anything I say too seriously. So there's even times where I'm still conflicted, but you just want to be yourself and attract exactly who you are. And so when he writes those posts, he writes them as if he was talking exactly to his tribe, and he knows that that person is going to get him, and they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, you say the F word too much, you know, and you're not going to judge somebody because you're talking to your target market, you know? So, let's see what else. Oh, and then another thing I wanted to talk about is think about what drew you to your coach. Do you remember what kind of posts you started seeing that were like, oh, I got to message this girl? Or what about her set her apart from going to beachbody.com and ordering, or, you know, things like that. So for me, I was an Instagram queen, and I used to only use Instagram to win things. I won a yoga mat. I won a book. I won some shoes. I won like literally so much stuff because that's all I did. And so Kelly Hanner started doing a giveaway on an account I was already following. And so I saw her giveaway on that account, so I started following Kelly. And so then Kelly made a post one time, and she made a couple posts about eating disorders and stuff like that. And I was like, oh gosh, this girl is my jam. And then she made a post that she was like, are you sick and tired of your job? Is your boss leaving you, you know, is your boss a jerk? Are you feeling unfulfilled, underpaid? And that's at that moment I was like, holy crap, this girl is like reading into my mind. Yes. And so I messaged her, I got information about coaching, and I signed up like that day, because I knew that I already had a connection with this girl. And if she was loving what she was doing, and it was helping her get over her, you know, self-confidence issues, and she was loving coaching, and that was right up my alley, I was like, why not? What do I have to lose? So for me, because I connected with her story and then she posted about coaching, I was sold. Once you have a connection with somebody, it's amazing. It's like you just want to belong. Like if you know, imagine if you were on a plane or you were in a foreign country and you hear somebody with an American accent. Okay, said, you know, in a world full of different people, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, are you from America? Where are you from? You're going to have an instant connection. For me, if I'm walking and I see another person with a German Shepherd, I'm like, oh my gosh, how old is he? Like you have that instant connection. And as people, we just want to belong. And you look for people that are similar to you. So that, I mean, that to me is another reason right there why you're sharing your story. So I try to make a lot of posts that focus on, you know, my team is a group of silly people that don't take themselves too seriously, you know, things like that. I always am highlighting things that I love about my coaches, things that I love about my team, and doing like hashtag best team ever or hashtag best job ever. Like they're not all just, hey, do you want to join my team? Hey, do you want to join my team? Sometimes you just need to make a post and be like, this is why, I love my job so much. Like, this is why Beachbody is so amazing. Hashtag best job ever. Like, things like that are so important, because then sometimes I get people messaging me and they're like, and I'm, hey, how are you going? Da, da, da. And they're like, you look like you love your life. Like, your business looks like it's going awesome. And I'm like, well, thank you. I know it. I mean, it really is fun. I'm, you know, my life isn't perfect or anything by any means, but, you know, I do really enjoy my job. And that's, I think, another reason why people are so open to hearing about the coaching opportunity, because I'm always like, this job freaking rocks. And you may not have a story to tell. You know, I was able to quit my job. I was able to pay for my wedding in cash. I was able to retire my husband. You may not have that story yet, but you were able to maybe pay for your electric bill or fill your car up with gas or help somebody change their life. So it doesn't matter how big or small, you need to start talking about it. I always tell my girls to ask around your challengers and say, I want some non-scale victories this week. And then I have them gather them up and make a post like about the non-scale victories that people have given you, and just be like, being a part of this is so beyond amazing, and just kind of sharing that with people. Or you can add up all the weight of your challengers. Even if you have 2 challengers and you add them up and add up their inches and be like, dude, my challengers are killing it this week. They're already down X pounds, or in the last 2 weeks, we're down X pounds and X inches. And then hashtag best job ever, or, something like that. You're not actually inviting people, but people are going to be like, what are you doing? Like, tell me more. I want to lose X amount of pounds and X amount of inches. So just continuing to put that out there and just talking about why you love doing what you do. So I think that our team really focuses on telling your story, and they really focus on, attracting like-minded people. And then, so I want to talk about, I want to have some of my team talk about that too. So I'll start with Sarah. Do you have a microphone? You good? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah. You haven't had a microphone the last couple of times I tried to call on you.
I know. I have to get it fixed. But can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I actually, when I first started coaching, I would kind of use very cookie cutter posts. And actually, I had just lapsed up my anniversary of coaching, my 1 year. And now I'm starting to see all of the posts come across my time hop that I was making like right away. And they were just like full of emojis. Like, I don't know. They were so over the top, like so, I don't know. They're kind of embarrassing to look at. But at the end of the day, the point is that they weren't me. And I remember my husband even saying something in the beginning, like, this doesn't sound like you. Like, people are probably like reading them like, this doesn't sound like you at all. And so like for a while, I was kind of doing that thing. And then, just kind of scaled it back because I wasn't feeling like authentic to myself. And April actually does a really good job of talking about her day to day. Like, whatever's going on, she's just very like in the moment, snap a picture. This is like, if you follow her on social media, you can pick up her whole life in a good way. And it really lets you bring April, like you're in April's world, and that's awesome. So I really just kind of like loosened up a lot and just started to be myself. And to April's point, like, I do curse in some of my posts, and I do make like a little off-color joke sometimes. And I talk about, I do love emojis, but it was emoji overload. And I do talk about, how I enjoy drinking wine, and I'm just myself. And I stopped, giving into, I just am totally myself. So it's just funny, like April said, like seeing things come across, like people tagging you, and like people are always tagging me in like wine workouts and how to do push-ups while drinking wine and stuff like that. And I just started like honing in on like some of the things that are so me. Like, I drink everything out of a straw. So I just mentioned that one time, and I'll have people send me links to straws, like where I could have my name written out in a straw. So it's just these things that people started to realize were me and what made me me. And obviously, like, oh, am I going to attract other people who drink out of straws? Like, wonderful. But that's not the point. The point is that they start to see me for my true colors, and they laugh along with me. And like, I'll even say like, these jokes aren't getting better, guys. Like, they're just going to be as bad as they come. So, those are just a couple of things that I, really just tried to be authentic to myself. And I stopped trying to be other people And I really focused in on, you know, what goes on in my everyday life. So I kind of use my social media, and I try to use my social media as kind of like a Dear Diary. And what's awesome is that I host this posting internship with my team to kind of teach them how to do social media and how to post and use a posting schedule. And one of my girls I told her last time she joined the group that I was going to kick her out of it, because instead of posting to the posting schedule, she all of a sudden one day came up with this post about dishwasher detergent and how she was so excited because she went to the store and she got dishwasher detergent for free, and it was like her greatest moment. And she took a picture with the dishwasher detergent and she was like, awesome day, here it is. And I was like, that is what you need to be posting more of, your authentic, real life stuff. Like, yes, like we eat healthy, we work out, we post sweaty selfies, we drink our shakes, but there's so much more that makes us tick and makes us relatable. So that like Dear Diary type of aspect on your everyday, you know, life really brings people into your home, into, you know, what goes on. So, you know, I think that that's a huge part of it. And then people start to be like, you crack me up. You're just like, you know, not to toot my own horn, but it really just makes you a real person, I think, more than just this Beachbody robot. And I've had people be like, you know, I have at least 50 people on my news feed that are Beachbody coaches, but the way you come across is authentic, it's genuine, it cracks me up, and it's not stuffy. So, you know, I think that you just reach, like, take yourself out of the box and post about the things that make you you, and you'll find the people who want to laugh with you, you know?
I love that. That's perfect. And I can't even tell you how true that is for Sarah. Like it's rare if I see a post of Sarah's and I'm not like, bah, I love her. Like she just cracks me up, and I can't tell you enough. Like, you need to let your personality shine through. One of my coaches, Natasha, I don't think she'll be talking tonight. She's doing like pumpkin festivities, but listening in too. And she's so cool because she is super weird and goofy and fun, just like us. But for her, she used to be made fun of and picked on because of those reasons. And for her, she's like, I found a team that I belong and they encourage me to be weird. This is so cool. And so for her, it's really cool to be like, I can be myself and people are going to love me for that. So from somebody that's gone through a lot of stuff, you know, from that, I just feel like how cool for you to find a Beachbody family and finally feel accepted, being able to be nothing but yourself. And that's kind of my favorite thing is, you know, just making you sure that, you know, it's okay to be you. So Debbie, I want you to go ahead and just talk a little bit about, you know, what draws people's attention to you. Go ahead and unmute yourself, girl. There you go.
Hi, everyone. I'm super nervous. I don't normally talk in front of like 50 people. But anyway, I want to share a little bit about what has been super helpful for me in my business. Mind you, I'm an Emerald coach, and I've only been doing Beachbody for about 6 months, and I've been very successful with it. So, I think one of the biggest things for me personally is that I post a lot to Facebook. And every post that I make, I want to represent who I am personally. I want to set myself apart from other Beachbody coaches, because I know that, you know, a lot of my friends, they have people that, you know, are Beachbody coaches, and, you know, so you want to make yourself set apart from other people, and you want to really be relatable to your target market. And you really don't want to sound like a robot either with your posts. So you don't want to repetitively post the same things. So for me, like, I really try to post in the moment like April does. Like, you know, she's doing something funny or she's going to Chipotle and she just posts something and relates that back to Beachbody, you know, to make people see that what she's doing is, you know, helping her life and improving her life. So I definitely try to do that. So you want to think about how you're similar to all other Beachbody coaches, but what's really going to move your business forward is thinking about how you're different, thinking about how your story is different from everybody else's. And you want to also join groups that are aimed towards your target market. So for me, I have 2 kids, and I breastfed my kids. So I joined like breastfeeding support groups, and I also tried Weight Watchers in the past. So I've joined like Weight Watchers support groups, and I have 2 dogs. So I joined groups that, you know, people are part of that love dogs. Like I have Yorkies specifically. So I'm a part of like an I Love Yorkies group. And what you want to do is stay active in those groups and, you know, add friends from those groups and build relationships with people who are just like you. And you don't want to find just anyone. You want to find people that you want on your team. So what I did in the beginning, my first couple months, that was a big mistake, was I added like so many random people to my Facebook. And I was just add, yes, like this person could totally like, you know, get a challenge pack or whatever. But when it came down to it, like those people had nothing in common with me. And it was just a waste of time for me trying to build those relationships with people that I had nothing in common with. So don't do that. Like you definitely want to stick towards your target market and who you want on your team. So once you have those people, how do you really get them to connect with you? So what you want to do is absolutely step outside your comfort zone and share your story to that target market. For me, I always try to make my story relatable because people relate to a story. They don't relate to a product. So if you're posting like, oh, hey, like check out this 21-day fix, it's totally awesome, that's not going to work. Like you have to share something meaningful in your life that person is going to look at and be like, wow, like I totally get what this person is saying and I want to be a part of that. So then the product you're selling then becomes emotional to that person, and that's what's going to make them want to join you in, you know, your journey. So like April said before, you know, she was talking about, you know, her darkest moment, and how you really want to just get uncomfortable with sharing that with people. And for me, like mine was as well, like I had an eating disorder. I was anorexic. I popped Adderall to stay skinny. I had an abusive relationship with my ex-boyfriend who was a personal trainer. And he encouraged me to do those things. You know, he spent my mother's inheritance from when I died, when she died, he spent that money like towards getting cars and this and that. Like, so I was in such abusive relationships. I was adopted. I mean, I've been through so many things. So what you should do is really make a list of all the things that you've gone through in your life and really think about your life then and try to relate your posts to who you are now. Like, how has Beachbody helped you to overcome those things that you've been through in your life? Because people will relate to that, and then they will relate to the product that you're quote unquote selling. And I never like to look at it that way, because I don't ever think that I'm like selling something to someone. It's all about what I'm doing and the lifestyle that I'm living and how that can benefit someone else. And you never want to look desperate, because you really don't want to work with someone else that's desperate. So you want to, make your post personal, and you don't ever want to make it seem like you'll take anyone. You want to make it specific to your target market. So that's what I have to say. I hope, you guys took some valuable information from that. And thank you, April, for making me do this. Mwah. Love you all. And you're muted. I can't hear you.
I was like, Debbie asked me like 17 times, like, what am I going to say today? And she did great. So, okay. I want Danielle Mullen, also for my team, to talk a little bit about how she attracts her tribe. And then I'll open it up for you guys for questions or any tips or ideas or things that you have on this topic, or anything really. Go ahead, Danny.
So I was just going to add, like before I signed up as a coach, probably for like the 6 months, 8 months before that, I was the person that would spend all night on Pinterest, eating a bowl of ice cream, pinning every workout on Pinterest, and scrolling through Facebook, and anybody that had any kind of workout tip or any kind that looked like they were good at fitness, I would like them, I would follow them. And the one day there was a friend, and for some reason April's post showed up in my news feed, and I was like, oh, she looks like she's in shape and she looks like she's into fitness, so I'll like her and follow her. And then for some reason, and it's just how she attracts people, like she's so real, she's so normal, and I started seeing hers or paying attention to hers more and more. And then I finally decided, like, it was, sorry. I finally decided that I wanted to try it. And, like, of course, she was the first one that I went to. And now that I'm into Beachbody, I've realized, like, how many Beachbody coaches I had followed and just didn't realize it. But so April just does a really, really awesome job of attracting people and being herself and being normal and silly. And I just wanted to add that. But I shouldn't talk anymore. I just woke somebody up.
Aw, sorry. Thank you for that. And I want to go ahead and ask you guys if you have any questions. And I know we have a ton of people that are also on this call that are really good with, sharing your story. So feel free to chime in. And so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, if you want to ask anything, unmute yourself and go for it. Just kind of make it a Q&A with everybody. So is there no questions? Because anybody have a struggle with how to start? Or, I mean, I know it is a pretty self-explanatory topic, but what I'd love for you to do is just kind of write out the 5 things that you're passionate about, and kind of be mindful in your head this upcoming, week or so, and then writing them down as things. Like, if you find yourself being like, oh, I love this. For me, I love Walking Dead. It's back on. So here and there, I'll use Walking Dead memes. So if you go ahead and play to anything that you're passionate about. I have not watched it yesterday, so do not spoil anything for me, Debbie. Stop it. Any tips on how to reach out to more people on Instagram? Okay, so for Instagram, one of my favorite things is, and Amy Riemlin talked about this on one of her calls, is the 531 message. first, dealing with target market, a perfect thing for you to do is go through and write out hashtags for your target market. So mine is like hashtag love my dog, hashtag German Shepherd rescue, hashtag guacamole addict, things like that. And hashtag pizza is life, like stupid things like that. And I get a list of 25 of them and I save them in my notes section and I copy and paste that onto every post. Doesn't matter if it doesn't have a picture of my German Shepherd. If you go to you find me through that tag and you go to my page, you're going to find something with the German Shepherd within like 2 days. So it doesn't matter if those posts aren't applicable to that post. I use that same set of 25 hashtags on everything. And then I go through those hashtags and search. And I just like a bunch of photos. And if something catches my eye, I go to their page and I like a bunch of photos, like 5, comment on 3, and you usually get 1 follower back. And ask an engaging question, not just like, great job, girl. If I go to hashtag love to run and I'm like, oh my gosh, your pace is awesome. How did you feel during the race? Like ask them questions that they are going to have to think about responding without just saying thanks. How do you handle people not pulling the trigger? So do you mean like once you send them the link and they say yes and they just don't do anything? Is that what you're going with? I can't see who said this. Let's see. Jackie.
That was me.
Oh.
I unmuted.
Hey. So what do you do with people not pulling the trigger?
I must have a laundry list of people interested and said yes. Like, I went through the whole script. They know every detail. They said yes. Mm-hmm. Still days later not signing up, and I don't know why. And I follow up, but I get either no answer or, yeah, I'm signing up today, and they still don't. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so sometimes there's like an elephant in the room when this happens. And every time you message that person, they're thinking, oh crap, they want me to sign up and I still haven't yet. So I like to try to take that mindset away. And if they've posted something about their life or something, I message them about that. And I take that like elephant in the room away. And I'm like, hey, I saw you guys had a birthday party this weekend. Oh my gosh, your pics were so cute. How did it go? And I'm going to open a new conversation with them. Hopefully they've put something out there or, something like that you can kind of open up a new thing. And it doesn't make them think like, oh crap, she wants me to buy. If it's been like a couple weeks and I haven't heard back from them, I like to Google or go on Pinterest and just search a 21-day fix recipe. And then I send it their way and I say, hey girl, I was just meal planning for this week and I came across this and I thought of you. I just wanted to send it to you. It looked delicious. I don't know if it's for you or not, but it's, it's according to our meal plan. So I wanted to share it with you. And then you can kind of be like, so how are things going? How's your nutrition going? Yada, yada. And then you can be like, well, I don't know if you're interested or not. And I know it wasn't the best time for you then, but we have another group starting November 9th. And I would love for you to be a part of it. I can save you a spot. Just let me know if it's, for you or not. And then from there, they're either going to say yes, maybe next month. And that gives you an in to either talk to them next month. So that's kind of things that I do. Let's see. And then if there's a sale going on, like 21-day fix, it's on sale. So you can also just kind of catch up with them for them and then just be like, I know you're interested and I don't know if it's a good time for you or not, but I just want to make sure that you get the most for your buck because I am a bargain shopper and I want to make sure that you know that if you order by this month, you're going to get that for $10. Is there a minimum and or maximum we should look for in each number to use? Like 5 posts is not a used post, but 50 million posts would be buried quickly. I would say like maybe 10,000-ish, like 10 to, in the 10,000 range. Not just 10,000, but like 10, 20, 30, like whatever, that's fine. I wouldn't go with like 700,000 this, and I wouldn't go with 7. But if it's like 10 to 50,000, I think that's fine. And some of mine are even higher. Like it just depends because sometimes people are looking at, or, around the same time as you. So, you just kind of have to play with it and see what works and what doesn't. Anybody else have any questions? Honestly, it doesn't have to be about your tribe. We've got 15 minutes. And if, anything that you're dealing with, go for it. Yep.
Am I on?
Yeah. Who's this?
Hey, it's Ariana. Hi, April.
Hey. Hi, girl.
How are you? I just wanted to share, I have an awesome Instagram testimony.
Oh, cool.
I learned it in the Team Tubby to Tone training, and it's about asking to get featured to attract to your tribe. And most general feature accounts will have like DM to be featured on our page. And I DM'd a page yesterday called Motivated Body Fitness, and it ended up getting 165 likes on the post, and I probably brought in about 25 to 30 new followers. And then I had one follower convert to Facebook. So I highly recommend looking at getting featured on Instagram. Okay, that's my tip.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's partly of how I built my account too. Shalene Johnson has a training. It's called Instagram Impact. And it's $100 and you can go in on it with multiple people. So go in on it with a bunch of people and you have an awesome training. She teaches you how to make videos, how to do features about hashtags. It's really cool. And we went in and checked, and her team is fine with splitting it between people. Like one person will sign up for it, but you can share your login. So you can also go in, get some people to go in on that for fairly cheap. It's a really awesome training. Instagress.com is really cool too. Kelly Hanner has a couple YouTube videos on how to use that. You can use up to 30 on one, 30 hashtags on one post, but I usually do a couple silly ones like hashtag guacamole is life. So I just do 25 just because sometimes I use silly ones in my post. No, I don't always talk about Beachbody when I'm talking about things because you want to be something other than a Beachbody coach. So just talking about the simple things that you're passionate about. Some things I'll tie back into it, but with the best job ever kind of thing. But most of the time when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about or hobby or something like that I want people to connect with, I'm just saying it very matter-of-factly. You need some advice on how to motivate a coach who says she wants to work the business but doesn't participate in the coach training groups or answer my text messages. You're next. That's my advice on that one. Find somebody else. You can't do it for them. It sounds harsh, but you just need to go sign up 5 new coaches, and maybe 2 of them will be rock stars. Maybe 3 will putz around a little bit until they feel like doing it. It's all a numbers game, and the more people that you get signed on as coaches, the more people you're going to find that want to work it. Yeah. Next. Another thing I've been really doing is changing your mindset when you talk to people. Just talk to your new coaches. Like, Emerald isn't hard. I used to be like, well, let's set your goal to be Emerald and maybe like 3 months. Like, if we're really working, we can get you there. And now I'm like, dude, Emerald's not hard. You sign your mom and you find somebody else. Like, no big deal. So instill that into them. And when you're a new coach or you're talking to your new coach, if you're signing on challenge packs, just say when they're like, yes, I'm ready. How do I get started? You can just be like, okay, the last thing I need to know is, how do you want to get started? You can either get started as a client, or you can get it for the discount. This is my favorite option because you get 25% off of your shakes in all the upcoming months. So if you want, we can just get you signed up for the discount, and you also get an awesome support group with our team of coaches. Some work the business, some just do it for the discount, but it's a group of awesome, positive people, and you're getting 25% off. And if somebody says, dude, you look amazing, what are you doing? You just have a link to send them. So, I just want to know which route you want to go. Boom. Like, you have somebody if they're easily signing up 2 coaches and getting Emerald right off the bat, which is going to either help you get to Diamond or one of your coaches get to Diamond, things like that. I say just get everybody to sign on, as many people as coaches as they can, until they get to Diamond. And then once you're Diamond, then you can really work on trying to, talk to more people and finding people that want to really work the business, but Diamond is that's your goal. That's that's going to make you more money. That's going to start cycling. You're going to start feeling like a leader. Even if you got there with discount coaches, you're just going to keep attracting people, and you're going to keep eventually attracting people that want to work the business. So I used to be so anti that. I'm like, no, I want to get the 2 successful points when they're a customer, and then I want to get the 2 successful points when they're a coach. And now I'm just like, I just want people to be coaches because this has changed my life. So why am I going to wait 3 months down the road when they could be freaking diamond, or pushing for diamond by then? So, it doesn't hurt to just ask, and they may be a discount coach, but my sister was a discount coach for months before she did anything, and she's one of my diamonds now. So, I have a ton of people that were discount coaches, and you have no idea how it may change their life and how they may just one day see the potential. I don't do announcements for my coaches anymore. I make them do it. I give them a little video on how to announce themselves, and I have them tag me in their post, and I make them do it. And I mean, for me, I used to do it. I did it for like the first 2 years. And then I just was like, I can't do this anymore. This is one thing I don't want on my to-do list anymore. And I send them a welcome email, and then I teach them how to announce themselves. And I feel like it really does mean a lot coming from them. And they're just like, hey, this is what I'm doing now. So everybody's different on that. But for me, I really love seeing who wants this. If you've been a coach for 3 months and you haven't made your announcement, that's fine. I know to treat you like a client because you're not a business building coach, and that's fine. And then what I do that is important is when they're hitting Success Club in their first month, their second month, and their third month, I'm making a post about them, and when they're Emerald and So I am sure to talk them up when they do that. And that shows that they're being approved for the product and doing their 3 vital behaviors. But as of me, I don't do that. And with a discount coach, if you are making announcements, just ask them, hey, I usually do a thing and I announce my coaches. Do you want me to do that? Because that may just, jog some people's, make people curious as to what you're doing. You may just get your Shakeology paid for. That's what I would do. Yeah. Anything else, guys? So, Nicolette, are you talking? I don't know. It looked like your mouth was moving, but you're muted. So if you were, you delete your hashtags for a certain. Okay, yeah, you can delete your hashtags. Was that what you were thinking? Okay. You can delete your hashtags. So you could even create a list of 2 different 25 list of hashtags. So say I have a list of 25 hashtags and then another list of 25 totally different hashtags. If I have love to run here and here, it's not going to repost when I delete these and post these. It's not going to go back to the top. It only goes to the top ones. So they have to be 25, 2 totally separate ones, but you can always do that. And even if you don't have 25 different ones, even if you have like another 10 or something like that, if you delete those old ones and then slap another group on there, your post is then going to go to the top too, and or top as well. So that's another way to get more eyes on your stuff too.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? So in the comment section, you're deleting it and re-putting it, and in those new ones, it's putting it to the top?
Yeah, so say I had a bunch of hashtags and my post is like a week old, and I go and delete. Oh, Jessica, let me see if something's changed. What do you think has changed? Because I don't know.
I don't think they go to the top anymore. I didn't think they were chronologically.
Oh, that may have changed. I haven't checked that.
I think it now goes April, so it's based on when the original picture was posted. So even if like I had something from a week ago, it's not going to bump it based on like new hashtags or whatever.
Oh, good to know. That's obnoxious. Okay. So you could do it 2 hours later, and it would still be more eyes.
But in general, do you leave on the bottom? Like, do you leave in the comment section your hashtags, or do you just delete them after, or for those that have been doing it with the newer updates on how they do the hashtags, do you take off hashtags at some juncture, or are they just always chill? Like, I never take mine off. They're just always chilling there, just 30 hashtags in my comments. Like, should I be going?
No, you don't need to delete them. No,
move on.
Because honestly, it may be somebody down the road that's like super bored at midnight. It's like searching through German Shepherd pictures and is like, oh, this one's so cute. Like, you just never know. So I wouldn't delete them. I don't think there's any purpose in doing that.
Okay, cool. And then one more question regarding like Instagram, where you're putting in those hashtags. Is there a certain number that you recommend having in the Instagram section of like your like-minded hashtags? Do you know what I mean? Like on the top?
I mean, I would still try to shoot for like 25 to 30. because that's what it's going to do, is it's going to search different hashtags. And I definitely would delete all of them, because it will like some crazy weird stuff that you do not want other people seeing that you are liking and commenting on. I was like, no, all these terrible things. So delete all of the hashtags and use your own. And I really don't like the follow feature, because then I was following over 6,000 people, and that was an entire pain in the butt to get to unfollow people, because you can only unfollow 75 at a time. And then what I do is I use the comments, but I do emojis, and I'll do like a flex or a thumbs up or a smiley face or something, or a heart or something. And then that gets people to respond, and then you can comment back and forth from there. But I wouldn't use the spammy, like, great shot, or I like this, or things like that. So I just use emojis so it doesn't get confusing. So yeah, that's all I got. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, because I know that time is precious and I am tired, to be quite honest. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I will post the recording once it's uploaded. And I think Pat was uploading the recording from last week. He said YouTube said it was taking 75 minutes or something crazy. So that should be up, and then we can all check that out, because that volume one was awesome. So make sure that your posts are, or your team is checking those out. So hope you guys got some out of this, and have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.